Okay, everybody, I hope that it's not too much of a disturbance if you hear a bit of mic movements, but I don't have a mic stand, so I'm holding the mic with one hand. What I want to show you is just the little thing that I've picked up now, the ability to put a video clip inside Unreal Engine. I am running version, what is it? 4.18, I think, as at 2017 December. This is the latest release, but pretty much it does it with most of the other releases. Not sure how far back though, but this is the little piece that I wanted to show you. So I'm going to click in the viewfinder and press F11 so that I can get a full screen, and then I'm going to press Alt and P to play it in game mode basically. Okay, you're hearing the sound, and the sound's coming from the actual computer itself, because I have something wrong with my sound card. It's not picking up the things, but I think it's good enough if you can hear it. And then my navigation skills here with my one hand and the arrows, because I don't use the mouse. It's going to be a bit, or should I use the mouse? Yeah. So this is the mouse, using it for navigation. But the point I want to show you is this video that's playing in Unreal when you're in the gaming mode. So if you are doing a promotion of some sort, in this case I'm doing just a layout of what the gaming symposium is going to kind of be like. So I'm still in just the rough kind of idea stage, and I wanted to find out how it would be possible to actually play a video as if it's on a big screen. So I'll just share with you the little information that I've learned. Just get out of that. And I think I'm going to simplify this. Let me just go to F11 again. And I'm going to create a separate, I'm going to just create a blank layer and a new level so that we don't have, unnecessary waiting period. But the logic behind it is, if we're going to, I'm going to just drop in a square here, and onto the square I am going to put the movie. So I'm going to just type in the size here. Let me just make this 5. And it's increasing all because I've locked the scale over here. Okay, so this is just an object that I'm using to, let me see, I'm never really getting to using these navigation things here. Oh, there we go. I usually use my Alt key when I move, so 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. And then the light sources I'm going to just put onto movable, so that I don't have this rebuilding of light requirement. You could see another tutorial that I basically go through all those settings with the light, so that we don't have a problem with constantly baking the light maps in when we're busy working. You can decide to bake it right at the end or not, depending on what quality you want and what speed and so forth. Okay, so here's the whole thing behind it. I am going to create a folder that I'm going to work in. So I right click and go to new folder and tutorial. Okay, and I'm going to go in there. So I'm going to get a video clip that I'm going to put in here. So firstly I've got to import a video clip that I'm going to use, and usually it's good to go with like an MP4. So I'm going to say add. Am I going to say add? No, I'm going to say import. And I've got this ink video clip, and maybe I should just show you what it looks like if we play it. So it's just there's no audio with it. The other video that I've just played with you, I had to load in a audio clip independent of the actual video clip. I saw when some guys showed it, they opened it and it brought in two options. Two import options. One was for video and one is for the actual audio. In my case, it was only pulling up one. But I'm going to just show you how we bring in the video first of all. The audio we can do on a second run. So I'm going to close that, and I'm saying import that. So here I have it as an object over here. So how does this all work? If I double click on this here, oops, it's moving on to my other screen. It will bring it up in a dialog box like this. And this is the same place where you could actually go and open it to that specific file. So you could navigate to that. I just click save here. It sounds like a save here. So we are on here now. So how do we start to create the process? It's going to be you go and you right click on here, and then you go to media and to media player, because it requires a kind of container to put it into. So I'm going to click media player. And here's the point that I was mentioning. It just shows video output media texture asset, and you click here. Somebody was showing a video where it was kind of video and audio. I don't know how to get to that. If you do have an idea, then you can share it with me. But for now, I'm bringing in the video on its own. And that same audio that you heard in the introduction, I'll bring that in as an independent sound. Okay, so I'm going to go OK. And I'll leave it as the default media player. Now, when I bring that in as a media player, it automatically creates this kind of medium texture, a media texture next to it. And basically, that's all I need to do at this stage, and then take this actual media texture and drop it on the object. Now I can drop it on a surface. I'm just putting it on here, and it's going to populate all sides of this cube. Okay, so it basically goes, sort of shows that there's no texture or anything in it. But that's fine. We'll get to seeing what it does now. The next step would be to go to blueprints. And this is where I started getting scared initially, but it's not that complicated. We go to blueprints, and initially you've got to make a list of how it works so that you keep the sequence going. I was missing one of the sequences, and it was not working, and eventually I sort of latched onto it. So initially, you know, you got to repeat and repeat, and you'll get used to it. So open a level blueprint, and in this window now there's a few processes that you go through. Now this thing has got some goodies in here already that are kind of from the previous time that I was working. So excuse that, I've just cleaned it up, deleted it. So it should come up blank like this. First step you go is create a variable. And that variable I'm going to just call mPlayer, as in media player. Okay. So once you create the media player, you look on the right hand side here, it shows you the media player, and then it gives you the variable type. It's showing Boolean here, but you click on there and you can type media player. Okay, we go media player, and it will pull up here, it filters it through, and then you can choose the first one that says object reference. Okay, if we click object reference, we have it in here. Now this was the key point. I started fiddling further here. The key point is that you click compile button, because then it brings a dialog where you can actually drop the specific item in there that you're working with. So at this stage, crucial to go compile. And you'll see something appear on the side, compile. Can you see there it's got default value? So I wasn't doing the compile. I thought maybe I'll compile right at the end, but it wasn't working that way. So what the compile does, it preps this media player, and it gives you this default value here. And if you pop down this dialog, you will see that it will give you, now these are things that I've previously added in my system, and I didn't renew it. But yeah, I've got the new one now is the media player, the thing that I called media player. I'll click that, and there it puts it in there. So once I'm at that stage, I'm in a good space. So what we do is here now, and here becomes what feels complicated, and I probably will also forget what it is, but I think it's like enter event enter or something. But I'm going to right click here and say event begin, something like that. Yeah, event begin play. So it's an event to begin the playing of the goodie. Okay, sounds quite logical now when I see it. But you've got to go and click that. Oops, and I'm zoomed quite out, and I use the mouse wheel to get in. So I've got that over there, and the second thing that I've got to bring in now is this particular variable. Okay, I would like to explain the total logic behind it, but currently I don't really understand all the logic yet. It does bother me that I don't understand it perfectly, but I'll get to it later once I've used this tool very much. But I basically am sharing this just as I got to learn how to do it. So I'm going to grab this in player and pull it in here. And when I let go, it's going to say get in player, and it brings that there. Now the next step here is you pull out a node of this area and you let go, and I'm not too sure what I've got to type in here now. Oh yes, because I do love it, I now can remember it. It's open source. Anything open source is great. So type open source, and there we see when I click there, it brings this dialog box up here. Okay, and then the event begin, I put it into the top area. It kind of looks like it belongs there. And here now it is asking you for what media you're playing, which is that video that we've loaded. So if we click this drop down menu, we're going to see the video here. And the one that I've set up is inks. This one on top here that shows 2018 UE4X, that was the demo video that I was showing you. Now you wouldn't have this in here, you'd only have whatever single video that you put in. This is kind of legacy stuff that were lying in the folder. I didn't clear up before I started this. So I'm going to click inks, and that's pretty much all you're going to do. I'll recompile and say save. Okay, and I'm going to just call this inks for simplicity's sake. Once you've saved it once, you don't have to, resave it every time. And that's basically it. If I run the game now, I should see the inks video playing in this area. So if I play it, there we go. Oops, I'm a bit zoomed in too much. Let me see if I can zoom out a bit. Oh, there I go, dropping off. Sorry about that. I've just dropped off the stage of life. I'm going to just click play again so I can get back on the stage, and I'm going to go escape. I'm going to make this platform much bigger here. I'm going to change the size maybe to 10. It's probably 10 thickness also, which is a bit awkward, but for the purpose so that I don't fall off again. Let me see if I can get around to the side of the light here. And doesn't matter where I turn to now, where the actual player starts, it will go back there. So I'm going to just click, and I'm going to use my keys now, the S key, to move back. But there we're playing the video. Okay, so that's the video playing, and it will be playing. I think I can go to the side here. There we go, and a bit of rotation. So the video is playing on all sides. So if you wanted to do a video like I did, you basically can. The simple way is making a plane, or just using a cube and then flattening the cube, so you could basically thin the cube and just make it a flat surface. And it's easier. You don't have to do the kind of rotations to get the orientation and all that correct. Okay, and if you want sound in here, I find that a WAV file pretty much works most of the time. So I've tried MP3s, and I'm not sure if that works. Maybe it does, but I'm going to just press escape. And you can set it so that it gets triggered. The video gets triggered when you walk or touch certain stuff, but that's the advanced side of life. For me, it was I just needed the video to play. And you have the ability of looping the video. You can look in the settings of the actual media player, etc. Let's have a look there. If I click media player, yeah, here it is here. It shows you to play on open, to shuffle or loop the video. So you have those options, and then the further customizations when you touching something, or trigger points, or walking into zones and all that. The other thing, I just want to show you the audio, because my audio didn't pull in. If the audio had to pull in, you'd see this one square, black square. There'll be two of them, and you drag both of them onto the item, and the audio should play. But in my case, for some reason, it's not pulling in the audio. So how I get to do it is I take the audio off that, and I convert it to a WAV file. Like I said, kind of works with a WAV file and not with other files that I tend to work with. So I've done this conversion. Let me just rename this to MSX. Don't ask me what MSX stands for, just kind of felt correct. Let me open that. So it's importing this, and how do I get to play it? And I just basically want to play it as it loads. If you want to hear the sample, I can click on here. Okay, and it plays back, but I want to insert it in here, so I right click on this and I go here to create a queue. Okay, so if I click there, it creates a queue. Like I said, guys, forgive me, but I'm just doing it as per how I've sort of picked up the things and how it's working for me. For me at this stage is I need to get a video on a surface and the audio to play. When I get to a point where I need to have the user switch on the audio and switch it off, I think I'll learn from some other people as to how to do it and then probably share. But yeah, all I do is I'll take this, grab it, left mouse, and drag it in here, and it becomes like another object. Okay, this is a tip that I shared in the other spaces also. Sometimes I go and I want to go click a different handle here. The easy way is I just rotate through pressing the space bar. It rotates through the different settings and makes life easier. So I'm just putting it up here so I can kind of see that speaker there. So that's the MXQ there, and you can see it here all on the right hand side here with all the detail areas. You could probably do attenuations, etc., etc. I'm not going to even fiddle into that. So the key is here, when we go into the play mode, the video is going to play and the audio is going to play automatically. So I'm going to go F11 to maximize my screen. Let's go that. Okay, it's not maximizing because I've got two screens. And then to get, of course, these icons out of the way, I press G is to get it out of gaming mode or out of the display into gaming mode. And now to run it here, I can, one of two things, I can go here, and where is it? It's long last I did it this way. No. Rather stay. Oh, the reason I used to go here is if I wanted to switch into immersive or not. But yeah, I'll go Alt P and it will get into gaming mode, and you should see the video start to play and the audio should come on. Okay, the audio is on my laptop, and like I said, I've got a external sound card, so it conflicts a bit. But there we have it. Let me navigate a bit to the side. So we have now a video playing and an audio file playing, and it will only play in gaming mode. I don't know if you could do it if you stop the gaming mode. Would it make sense, because it's supposed to only be in the gaming mode? I'm sure you could make a little trigger area that when you click on it, it stops the music, or a volume slider, etc. But that's for later videos. So hopefully this has made sense for you. So I hope that's been of value to you, and yeah, share the news with others. If there's others that don't know how to do it, keep sharing, and in that way we all grow. So have a fantastic day, and God bless.